Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Fetish podcast. This is your host, Hazy.
And I'm Suvi.
Yes, and this is our podcast where we talk about growth, spirituality, art, and mommyhood. Yes. And today we have really special guests.
Yes. Special guests, Mary B. and Kiera, please. Yay.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, they are, well, I know Kiera through Suvi and Mary, but we are friends from Boston.
Yeah, we're all friends.
Come on now.
We all love each other.
Are you from Boston too?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Virginia.
I'm the half. I'm from a lot of places.
Sorry. That's my son. Sorry.
Don't say sorry. He's a blessing.
Right.
Or they're a blessing. She's a blessing. I'm not sure. He's a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, so you're from Virginia. You're from Virginia too?
Mary's from everywhere.
Same.
Yeah, but I met Kiera in Virginia, and then I moved to Boston where I met the friends that connected us together, and now we're in Los Angeles.
Wow,
and
crazy.
Now we're all meeting each other here.
It's so crazy because, shout out to Nara. I bumped into her one day. This is how I became friends with her. I bumped into her at Sneaker Junkies, and she was like, yo, come to my house. We're throwing a party for my friend Mary. She's moving to LA.
She didn't come to the party, and that was the biggest mistake she made that summer because that was the craziest party.
I thought it was a plot twist. Like, I came to the party.
That was really funny because she didn't come to the party. However, we ended up becoming friends because our friends were insisted on us being friends.
Yes.
And since I had moved out here, then these two were shortly moving out here. Yeah, like why not connect out here since we had a connection back east, and it's been a beautiful connection to say the least. Because you guys have been out here for 3 years.
Yeah. Yes, you guys for 5.
For 5, yeah, and here we are.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't like to hear that number.
Why?
Because it's like, oh, damn, it's been a long time.
Time just keeps going.
I know.
Wow. But you guys have accomplished so much since you've moved here. Like from the Mary that I met and the Kiera that I met 4 years ago. Like, wow, you guys have blossomed into beautiful women. We have blossomed into mothers, which is freaking crazy.
It's really, really amazing to see all of us just growing into ourselves.
Right.
I like your kids. They're very good kids.
Yeah, I love your kids too.
One-liner. I love your kids. I love it.
They are. They're great. They're so cute. I'm just like, we need to get them out there. Like,
yes,
I feel like a mama
the future.
Yes.
Like,
I love too that I get to experience children without having to have them myself.
What a perk.
Right. You have that burden. You are amazing.
I love my son.
and we love them too. We love them too. But yeah, what a journey it's been.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, should we do an icebreaker?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Because, yeah, it gets deep. So, let's just keep it light for right now. Let's see. What have you guys been listening to? What kind of music?
I like this song by the Mamas and Papas. I sound like a little kid. I like the pop way. I like the song from the Mamas and Papas called California Dreaming. It's a very old song, but I've been listening to it nonstop. And I like Post Malone's new song. It's called Chemical. Oh. He did his thing. I feel like he's been getting into
not on the post. I need to get hit with Post Malone.
I haven't really.
We've been spending too much time together.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that song.
That's because I showed you that song. But anyway, you can't outdo the Dua Baby.
My favorite Post Malone song is White Iverson.
Me too. That's literally.
Oh my God. The one he came out with.
and
I mean, it is a good song. He did come out with a banger.
I really like the happy song. Oh, girl, I like you. I
Oh,
do.
you're talking about Pharrell.
Me too.
Okay.
Because I'm happy. I was like, okay, Minions.
Oh, my Lord.
That one's good too.
What have you been listening to, Mary? What's your vibe lately?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Noises like have been bothering me if I'm not at work. I've been really, really sensitive to stimulation.
Same.
Yeah. So I've been reading. And if I listen to music, it's always like just the phones that I got, other songs that I got on my phone, old throwbacks, 2000s, 90s.
Drake.
I love Drake. Drake, Chris Brown, her. I'll just literally talk to Siri, tell her to put one of those on, and then just like rotate. I'll be fine. And I also work at a soul food restaurant, so the music there is amazing. So I don't necessarily feel like I need to be listening to music.
Yeah. Also, listening to music is not how it used to be like. You know, like we used to actually search for music and like look for things and download it and
LimeWire days.
Yeah, now I just like find music on like a fire playlist on Spotify.
You guys will never, ever get this guess this because Kiera has kind of like RIP this version of herself. But when we were growing up, Kiera was the iTunes plug. Okay, she had figured out how to like what's it called, jailbreak the iPhone, like the iPads. So everyone at school just would give her the iPads, or they would give me the iPads to give to her. And we would just go to her house afterwards and she would upload just mad. She had all the songs. Okay. And Lil Wayne was like the GOAT, right? She had every Lil Wayne song imaginable. And everyone wanted his music, right? So yeah, you could have made money, bro.
Really? I was just gonna ask you, like, did you charge people?
I don't even remember this era. I listened to music. I was like, wow, I did. People would be shocked these days. They don't think I listen to anything. And like, little did they know, I guess I did.
She did. It was kind of like a quick era for her, but she was in it, bro.
Was it was like definitely like iTunes, but before that it was like LimeWire time.
Yeah, well, like she would have the LimeWire and upload it to iTunes.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then you also have to like kind of name it.
Yeah, you have to rename
myself.
everything.
I'm just like, wow, I should have kept this business going.
You should have.
Yeah,
you should have been burning mixtapes for everybody.
Right.
I could have.
Still, hey, you need mixes. You know who to hit up.
Not me.
I have a question for you guys. So how long have you been friends?
I'm sure she'll answer this immediately because I don't know. 12.
Why don't you tell them?
I don't know. 12, 11. My memory.
You guys are like an old married couple. It's like you tell them.
I have
12, 11. It seems about right.
So
7th grade. However you are in the 7th grade.
I don't know. Let's just guess.
11.
And we'll say 12 years.
12.
Amazing.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
I think 12.
I was just gonna guess.
Didn't we just
We
get a
didn't
decade
do
this
any
year?
math.
No, I think we're a decade next year, 2024.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
After the decade is like, yo, we're dying
Yeah,
together.
like I know
We're
it's over.
literally-
A decade.
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
Yeah, I know it's over a decade, so it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's definitely a long time.
She started saying that I'm no longer her friend. I'm her family. I'm like her sister.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really nice to
Brave
hear
of you to
someone
say this
else.
on camera. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's really nice to hear someone else refer to me about like that. Because I'm usually the one like obsessed, but she loves me back. And I love that.
Questionable behavior. Very true, but still.
Well, if it's 12 years, then you guys have been through a lot of phases together, yeah?
Yeah, unfortunately.
7th grade till
7th grade till now to adulthood. Yeah.
Right.
I know.
That's a long time.
It's a long
Y'all said
time.
a decade. That's a long time.
Yeah. And I mean, before we were even starting this podcast, Mary, you were mentioning that like you went through a lot of death and transformation even before when I was pregnant, and now my son's born 4 months after. So it's like, imagine the transformation that has happened between over a decade.
Me and Kiera have like went years without speaking. And we've had years where we literally sleep, breathe, and eat each other. Right. So, and then that's like...
Just zoom into my face. I'm like, she's not lying. I'm listening. Continue.
So, in a healthy manner, we're not eating each other, but we kind of just go through that and repeat. So we'll have. I just feel like that's like our phases. That's our lunar phase. Like, we'll either really not be talking, or we're just like,
Yeah. Do you think that has to do with like alignment within your own personal lives, and then kind of like,
oh, for
whoever
sure,
kind of comes along? If not, like, then it's just kind of like, get out of my way.
I don't know. She might have some spiritual meaning for this. I just say, I just kind of go with the flow with my life, and like the people who know me get it, and the people who don't will not, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be able to talk to you a lot, and sometimes I won't be able to. But I think the people who understand you the most know Like they need you, they'll be there, but like nothing is out of malicious intent. It's kind of just like how life is going. And that depends on you personally and not necessarily the other person all the time.
Right.
And I think it kind of happened naturally in a way where it made sense. So that's good. Thanks, God. Thank you.
Yeah. I can, I guess my response will be spiritual, a little different from yours, but that's what makes
it. Okay.
that's what makes our dynamic so dynamic-y.
Yes.
I realize that we are all individual beings walking with our own destined purpose that was designed for each of our lives. And I feel like there are people who walk those paths with you, but it's still their path. And so there might be point in times within our own lanes that the cutoff, like there's a connection between our two lanes. And for whatever reason, we can't meet here because it's not meant. Because if we meet here, I can't keep moving forward. And if I meet you here, you can't keep moving forward. So then that's where the space comes. However, this lane of contact is still always open between our two lanes. But through growth, we've kind of been able to listen when it's time to go into your like crossing intersection.
Right. To like kind of go away, but also meet again, go away, meet again.
Yeah. And it's funny because in these lanes, like she's never too far off. We're still in the same highway, like we're still on I-95. It's just I might be in the right-hand lane. She might be in the left-hand lane. There might be times where we're switching and I'm getting in the left hand and she's getting in the right hand. But, there's still a switch. Right. So I feel like that's what our life is. Yeah. It's just like constantly changing lanes, but God placed us both on the same highway. And sometimes traffic comes. That's what life is, right? And so, yeah.
This traffic.
I've just literally been riding in traffic. It is LA. It's crazy that I like just made that analogy, but I feel like I've just been literally riding on this highway of life with my best friend. Yeah.
Do you think in the past you've ever experienced any toxic codependency within your friendship or other relationship, I guess?
I think everyone has.
Yeah, you have to learn. How are you going to ever learn that it was toxic if you didn't go through it?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of learning who you are.
Right.
It's kind of just like, I mean, toxic feels like a nasty word, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like something that may not be extremely healthy, whether it's fun for the time or not. And I think everyone has, like, whether it be this relationship, the last relationship, the one when you were little. I think there's always been a time where you don't feel comfortable just being alone and you feel like you need to have someone there to kind of help you navigate or figure out what's going on. But
or to just hold you.
Yeah, or just hold you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you're like, all right, you got to figure it out for yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, ultimately, yes. We can get deeper into it, but yeah, of course. That just, it kind of is what it is, and it's not going to stop happening. Like, that's just going to happen throughout everyone's life in different forms and different facets.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like there's just like really like levels to this shit in life.
Right.
And there's always going to be like a form of toxicity, quote unquote.
Yeah, you say that word.
In each. In each frequency.
Say that word. What was it?
Toxicity. I feel like there's going to be a level of toxicity. Anemone.
I do. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
But I think you said a really powerful thing with like what is toxic, because in this chapter I'm in, I've learned that what is good and bad.
Okay.
Both sides are actually very needed.
Yes.
So for example, I realized recently that the color red is very aggressive to me, and I was verbalizing it as bad, but it's not bad. It's needed. right? It's just that how it's touching me. It's touching me and making me respond to it as quote unquote bad. But that just means there's something to be addressed.
You don't like McDonald's? Sorry.
You don't like fries?
I'm just thinking of
You don't like sweet and
all
sour?
the restaurants that have the color
You don't
red.
like Polynesian?
You know,
Wendy's,
red
Chick-fil-A,
red
McDonald's.
entices hunger.
I know. I learned that in advertising school. That might be why you don't like it. It's on purpose. It's
Every time you see it, you're hungry.
That's really funny.
It's actually to get people to buy things.
It's a screaming color. Yeah. And one thing that I'm like healing right now is how to stand up for myself. And so when I'm doing shadow work, I'm reminded all the time of the little girl that was abused, that couldn't talk, that was yelled at, that was just had to pretend like she was tough and confrontational when I wasn't. But I had to learn to be like that because that's what required of me in my survival mode. So now that I'm not in survival mode, you know, anyways, to answer your freaking question, I just kind of like derailed to go back to this one purpose of just saying that good and bad are both necessary. And I feel like within each elevation of life, you're going to learn a new depth to what good and bad is. So even toxic can be good because how could you learn to be better without that evil entity, without that toxic energy present?
Right. We talk about the yin and yang. Whenever me and Suvi hang out, we talk about yin and yang a lot and how like we're always like kind of in the similar frequencies whenever we're going into our own internal work. And then when we meet up, it's kind of like we talk about it, reflect on it type shit, right? And we talked about how I was, a couple of weeks ago, I was walking in my dark energy a lot. So like I didn't care about anybody else but me. Like I wanted to be left alone. Like I just wanted to kind of like just do me, you know? And whenever I feel that way, I feel like everybody around me is in their light work where they want to serve others. They want to like really just be there for each other. And it's looked bad at when somebody's walking in their light energy, they're seeing somebody who's walking in their dark energy. It kind of looks bad, but they're both doing the work. You know what I mean? Like things are still happening within the spiritual work for the both people. And it's just both important. So it like going off of what you're saying is like, yeah, the darkness is very important because before the light, it was dark on this earth, right? So like,
and
I
without
embrace
dark,
it.
there can't be light.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear that time and time again in so many stories. The first one that came to mind was Bane. He was born. I was born in the
Dark
darkness.
Knight.
Like,
Dark Knight.
Crazy.
This guy.
Yes.
Oh, I love him. Yes.
And I admired his character because the strength came from no light.
Right.
It came from
Darkness is your ally.
I mean, didn't he go to jail though? But
real niggas go to jail. Free mommy.
But absolutely.
What happens to Bane? Does he die?
He did end up getting defeated. I don't know if he necessarily died, but you know why I liked him too? Because he was
my
just like
favorite
obeying like his light.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
His
he was
darkness, you
distorted.
He was obeying his darkness.
He was obeying his darkness.
Yeah.
Who was portraying herself to be a light to him, but to the rest of the world was darkness. So it's also in the eye of the holder.
Right.
Perception is everything. My truth will never be your truth, and your truth will never be my truth.
Period.
Yeah. What? What did I do?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what are some red flags to you guys personally, like separately, for you? And
Oh my gosh, I think this will be fun. How about you list my red flags and I'll list yours?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because my truth is not your truth. That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
True. Okay, whatever. Tell them your red flags, Keeks.
In what specifically? Relationships, friendships?
Just like imagine you are meeting a new friend and like you're starting out in this new friendship. What might be some red flags or indications of like maybe this person isn't for me. Maybe this person brings this side of me that I haven't dealt with, etc.
Yeah. I feel like I'll preface this by saying like my red flags may not be actual red flags. It's just red flags for me because I am just a very peculiar person.
yeah.
So I just need a specific type of person to deal with me. And I understand that now. So like one of my red flags would be just like being a little bit too into it. That sounds crazy. I know it does. But like I'm very much I feel like I'm a low maintenance type of friendship person. So like I like to start off my friendships with like, hey, I may not text you back. That sounds crazy, but I'm like, I need to let you know, like, I will not always be there for you in that way. But if it's important, call me, let me know that it's important. I'll be there. But like I have found a lot of people don't necessarily like that, or they can't.
Can I interject a second?
Interject, please.
I will say, I have gone months without talking to Kiera, and there will be times where, like, me and Mary will be in a situation, and we'll call Key, and she's there in, like, 20 minutes, and I'm like, where'd this bitch come from?
I'll show up.
She literally will pull the fuck up. Like, that, it's very true. That's a very true statement.
Thank you. Not everyone can handle that, because I feel like different friendships, like, people are always around, and that, like, that's respectful, too. I've noticed like I can't navigate that way all the time, just because like how my life is, and it's like very overwhelming for me. So like when someone can't necessarily, I want to say respect that or handle that, that's a red flag to me, to know that, okay, maybe this relationship will not work because they just are looking for a different type of friendship that I cannot offer.
Right.
And I'm not willing to change that.
As you shouldn't.
I'm not willing to change that.
So basically somebody who can respect your boundaries.
Respect boundaries, but I feel like sometimes it's like some people forget that how they operate in friendships are not the way that everyone does. And I just live a very weird life now where I guess it's not normal, and I forget that. And people don't necessarily understand that sometimes. And I feel like it comes from like they start getting angry or upset or frustrated at that fact, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm like, hey, this is what it is. But like people still get upset and angry because they want friendships to blossom, and I'm just like very much a person where like I don't feel like I need to rush friendships. I kind of am okay with everybody in my life. If it naturally happens, I'm open to it. But like I'm very much a slow paced. Let's see what happens. And when anyone wants to kind of like speed that up or like do a lot of things at once, that's when I kind of pull back, because I personally can't offer my energy like that. And nor do I want to. And I just want to make sure that's like said and told. So that's definitely like one of the red flags where I'm like, when things move a little bit too fast, and like when people want to dive in too quickly and know everything, I'm much more of like slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Let's see how this flows. And also a red flag, I feel like this is not a red flag to other people, but it's a red flag to me when I just don't personally feel completely comfortable in a moment. And I don't have any other reason besides I just don't. And a lot of times I would ignore that feeling where I'm like, okay, well, like, let me give it a try. Let me just see what happens. But now I've just noticed that I should just honor that and be like, hey, if you don't feel comfortable, it's okay.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything's bad on their behalf, but like maybe this isn't the relationship for you. So I've just been like, okay, if I really don't feel comfortable being myself, then I got to get out. It's okay. But do it respectfully, but you do not have to force yourself to like feel like you need to be.
Right.
And that's more so just like, I feel like a red flag in myself where I'm like, girl, you're making it a red flag by trying to continue, if that makes sense.
So if people don't respect your boundaries, you feel like that's just a red flag?
I feel like it's a red flag when you outright say like, hey, I cannot do something like this. And they want you to be something else that you are not.
They want you to be a people pleaser.
Yeah, and I don't think they mean that. I don't think they like
That's
maliciously
crazy to me.
try to do that.
Like people really get mad at you if you're a certain way.
Yeah, like they get upset, or they're just like, my other friends, they do this and they know how to do this, and I'm like, I'm not them, so I can't. I'll never live up to that person. But yeah, people do get upset when. Which sucks, because I'm like, I am not trying to be mean. I just don't. I can't. I'm struggling enough. Fucking please, don't make me struggle harder.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, especially when I outright say there's been a couple instances where it just didn't work out, and I cannot say other than the reason besides they were trying to make me someone that I was not trying to be, and I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Yeah, crazy. What's your red flags?
Yeah. What about you, Mary?
Like red flags
In friendships or
That
relationships?
you see in others.
Okay.
That you're like, oh no.
Red flags that I see in others, I won't lie to you, every person walking is probably like a red flag to me.
Humans.
Yeah, I'm becoming just like
If
very,
you have a social
very,
security number, you're a red flag.
you're a freaking red flag.
Well, what are some red flags that may arise in you?
What? Yeah, that's a really good question.
Like a trigger.
I'm really, really learning that everyone you meet is at some capacity a reflection of you. And so whenever I meet someone and I'm bothered, I then ask, why am I bothered?
Right.
I've kind of made everything very reflective in my life.
Yes.
And I since I've started
normal.
doing that, it's helped me become better. So for example, there's this girl, I've just started this new job. There's a girl there who's about 32, 33, but she is like a spitting replication of my personality if I hadn't done the work to change now. And I had a conversation with my therapist about her. My therapist asked me, why do I think that she's been presented into my life? And I think the answer to that question is because I need someone or something to remind me constantly to not be. Right. So a lot of times I get triggered by her, and I get triggered by her because I see my unhealed version. And I could see how I could still choose to be like that if I give up on doing the work right now. So my red flags can literally be anything, because I might not even know that there's a red flag out there, but because I just haven't discovered that within myself yet, that still has to be unfolded. But I guess now that I'm viewing it like that, I have a different way of approaching friendships. I myself am also in a position like here where I'm not interested in finding new people. I noticed before I was trying to put in all this energy into other people because it helped me not focus on what was important, which was myself. And so, if I do meet a friend, that'll be a beautiful thing, because I know that person is going to be entering the same frequency that I am, if not higher, because I'm in a chapter where I want abundance and abundance only for now until the rest of my days. So if someone's not coming into my life to teach me about financial abundance, about literacy, about spirituality, about anything that I may not know of, I'm not interested in entering that friendship, that relationship, because I feel like I have a solid crew that knows all versions that I've been and are loving of every version that I choose to be.
Right.
Red flags is just any and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like the biggest thing about red flags for me is communication. I'm a very, very vulnerable, honest speaking person. And I know sometimes my honesty can be hurtful. I'm very blunt. It's the East Coast in me. I'm never, I'm a Capricorn too. Like, all of my friends will be able to agree with this. And I feel like all of my friends can also agree that it is a taste that you have to acquire to be my friend.
Same.
But I think it's beautiful, and I wouldn't change that. So a red flag for me is having someone not being as down and just truthful, and like, life is life. Like, let's not bullshit about it. I feel like I just have a keen eye for calling out BS. Yeah, so it's really, really easy for me to find red flags.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, I'm learning that the more spiritually inclined you are, and the more you really do devote yourself to a better life, the lonelier your life is. So life has been getting pretty lonelier, but I appreciate this because I don't have to pay attention to red flags.
Right. And that loneliness, it'll be temporary, and then it'll just go into solid, like it'll feel solitude, and then that's, I feel like, a whole new, like we said, peace is wealth, right? So like when the loneliness, like it doesn't feel like loneliness anymore, and it feels like solitude is when you're like, all right, I'm good.
I'm really good.
I'm really good. And now I will meet people as an experience, like for that moment, and then on with it.
Yeah, if it continues, that's awesome. Amazing. And I know it's the energy working, the universe working, that's aligning this relationship to be.
Right.
Kiera, I would love for you to share this. Kiera is experiencing a new friendship. But I think it's really dope how
I am experiencing. I have a new friend. Listen, this is rare for me. I do not get new ones. Finish what you say.
I know. I really want you to tell your story about how. I guess I'll open it up for you if you feel like sharing. If not, we can go use the restroom.
I love it.
But Kiera is, for those of you who are new to this platform and new to meeting Kiera is a content creator. So she
hosting. Come on now.
She's a content creator, and so her life is very, very busy. And so for her to have like genuine friendships outside of those networking things, I would say are a blessing for you. And can you just can you explain what red flags you've had to maneuver learning how to like keep work and friendships separate?
Yeah. I mean, I also think I don't want to say I'm not like the other girls, but I'm not. I'm literally, I'm a normal person. I'm like every other girl. But like, I think sometimes, I don't know, being in this space, I think I look at it a little differently, and I don't know. It may be the asshole in me, but I don't.
We love the asshole.
I don't know, but I never. Okay, yeah, I'm a content creator. Whatever. Okay, we do that, and I think a lot of times people in that space, they just assume everyone's their friend. Like once they meet someone, they're their friend. I personally look at it like a work relationship.
Yeah.
I'm just until proven otherwise, because I'm like, hey, I meet in this space. It's great. Like, you're not saying it's bad. Like, you know, when you go to work and you have those working relationships, and that doesn't diminish the friendship, but
work relationships are important.
Yeah, like it's in a specific space. You don't.
But sometimes it doesn't need to leave the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Work relationships.
Yeah, and sometimes you're just like, you may not get along if y'all just went bowling, and that's fine, and that's okay. So like, I've navigated in a way where I'm like, it takes time to be my friend, because I just don't take friendship very lightly. I just don't want to give that term out. And there has been some crazy instances for sure. Like there's, oh my God, there's been times when I thought it would be a very mutual relationship or mutual friendship, and it just feels like the person needs more from you, or like they just are bringing you down, or they want to know more about your life than you are willing to give out. There's been times where people just like want to work with you, and that's cool too, but I'm like, let's call it what it is.
Right.
And that's okay.
Call me what you want, but you can't call me broke.
And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, which I think people still find some type of negativity towards, where I'm like, no, that's okay to want to do that. And there's times where it just feels, oh, this actually feels like a real friendship. But again, you probably have to navigate in a way where you're like, well, let me like see first before I really like kind of dive in, because, you know, this could just be the working relationship, or it could be like, oh, this is actually blossoming into a decent friendship. And like, there's times where it did, and that's like beautiful. And I feel like that just, it's the test of time. Like, you just see who sticks around, who you feel comfortable with, who you genuinely feel like, hey, they understand who I am as a person. And then you see the people who you don't necessarily connect with in that way, but you still think they're good people. Nothing's wrong with them. And it's a weird experience. It's a weird experience because everything online is inherently happy, I would say. Not everything, but like, people present the best parts of themselves. So like, it's hard for, I think, people to consume like, what, you're not friends? Or like, y'all don't get along? It's like, hey, people are humans, and that's okay. I might like their content, you might like their content, but personally, we may not vibe. And that's just okay. They may not vibe with me. I might not vibe with them. And it's been a weird place to navigate, especially since I think just people just assume like, once you meet people nowadays, it's like you're automatically friends. And I think we throw around the friend term like love. Yeah. And like, friendship, at this point, I've had so many like deep relationships with people that I now know what friendship is.
Yeah.
And it's not just you hang out once or twice. It's like, no, this person is there for you. They understand you. You can vent to them. You can fight with them. You can disagree. You don't have to have the same opinions or viewership, but you ultimately respect each other. And like, it just goes a lot deeper than like just hanging out. Just hanging out. And that's the type of friendship I'm looking for nowadays. Like, I'm not I'm sure, again, there's levels to it, but that's the level that I'm like looking towards. I'm not really interested in entertaining anything else because why? In my opinion,
Why when you got me?
I'm just like, I don't need to because.
So is this new friend that you found?
Yeah, I have a new friend. Yeah.
Is it through like the internet or was it in person?
It was weirdly enough, it was through the internet. I never thought I was a person that would find people through the internet, but
It's crazy.
I don't know how we met each other on the internet or followed each other on the internet, but we followed each other. We met a long time ago. I met a while back, and it just didn't click. Like, and not because like we didn't click. I think we were at two separate points in our lives where just
not aligned.
It was not aligned. It was not aligned. I could feel it. I knew it. But like ultimately when you're there, you're just like, why isn't it working?
Right.
Like, but it wasn't aligned. Like shit was happening. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Oh, shit was happening. And then we reconvened for a project of mine.
We've been trying not to curse.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I honestly haven't been conscious of it.
You're good. You're so great.
Curse your heart out. We're adults.
Wait, what is YouTube gonna do something?
No, this is just for our own personal.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, go ahead.
No,
You can fucking curse.
Okay. We reconvened for a project, asked them if they wanted to be a part of a project. And that was just me. Like, I thought they would be good for the project. And they said yes. We did the project. And I was like a little nervous because I was like, I don't really know how this is going to be. I hadn't seen them in so long. Like, I knew we weren't like friends, but I was like, let's see how it is. And it, like, my anxiety went down when I saw them because I just felt it was okay. I was like, that doesn't happen always. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know, this feels weird. But it felt very normal and natural. And I was like, okay, this is great. They're wonderful to work with. Didn't think much of it. But then I was like, you know what, we're kind of similar a little bit. Like, let's see how it is to hang out again. And we just like kept hanging out more and more and more and they were asking me to hang out and like still new friendships, still like kind of learning what that looks like. But I feel like it's really nice when you don't really have to like think too much about what's happening.
Right.
And it just kind of naturally is unfolding. And that was someone where I'm like, I just genuinely didn't think I was going to have a new person in my life. And I am like,
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
How like when you really start to focus on yourself, you know, you reach that place of solitude, God starts to pour.
Put people
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
It was nice. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I was like,
Because that's a reflection of where you're at, right? So
Yeah.
if you're in this moment where you're like, you're okay with yourself, you're happy and comfortable, and you're
that's
not
when you can
chasing
present
for
your
things.
best self too.
Exactly.
say.
And you're not chasing for nothing in this world. It just comes to you, and it's just coming to you, showing how beautiful you are in that moment. It's like an
Yeah.
affirmation in itself, you know?
Yeah, it was nice. I was just like, oh, we'll see where this leads. I'm not gonna think too much into it, but it's very nice when you're just like, it's like a happy surprise. You're like, oh, yeah, you fit with all the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's looking good. It's
When you
looking
feel
good.
like you've met somebody and known them for a while, just on a intuition or spiritual level, I love that. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
I literally just met you, but
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all both have that with y'all partner.
yeah. Literally, I was when you're saying this about this new friend, I'm like living back to like when I first met my partner, because like before then I was talking to her and all the people in my life. I'm like, this is the first time where like we're not up each other. Like I've met somebody who we're not up each other's ass, and like we're texting each other all the time, like want to like obsession, you know, that like high. It's almost like a high when you are like obsessed with somebody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
when
but
we
it's
met,
crazy. Like when it comes down, that's when shit really hits the
it's toxic.
Yeah.
That's your body saying like, this is not it.
Yeah,
Like there's
yep.
anxiety rising, you know?
And that's kind of what you were saying. It's like when things are just moving so quickly and you're like in that honeymoon phase,
Right.
like
Yeah.
in friendships and in
Yeah.
romantic
Yeah, it's in
relationships.
both.
It's like you're so in it. And then once that subsides and the real people are looking at each other, it's like,
I don't know about this. Who
the fuck are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
I'm not sure.
bamboozled.
This is different than what
Girl,
was
if anybody
advertised
knows
to
something
me.
about some bamboozle. Yeah, we ain't even finna get into that, friend.
This is advertised differently. I bought a different product.
Wait, I have a question. So in this situation with this new friend, right? Like it's so nice and stuff. Like, did it ever make you feel triggered in a sense, like, if you know what I mean.
It made me feel not necessarily triggered, but it made me look back on other relationships. I'm like, oh, this is what it should have been, if that makes sense. So not triggered by them, but triggered by past relationships where I'm like, okay,
you realize why it didn't work out.
Yeah,
or where
exactly.
the mistake was in the past.
Exactly, and where where it needed to, like, the pace in which it needed to happen. I was like, oh, okay, I can understand now a little bit more, because this is like an example presented in front of me. Wherever it goes, but like, yeah, it doesn't feel like work, if that makes sense. And I feel like, some relationships do feel like work, and not saying you don't have to put in the work, but like, it shouldn't always feel like work.
Right.
You should definitely have a point. Where
There's
like,
a difference.
Cruise. Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like we don't even need
If
to.
I feel like I'm
specify.
clocking in and out of a friendship or a relationship or anything, I'm about to quit.
Yes.
Either that or I better get paid.
Yeah.
Because like,
We get paid. Sorry.
like, you know, because there has to be that even exchange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever feel like people think that they're your friend, but you don't consider them
Their
your
friend?
Yeah,
Yes,
they be
that's
like,
a-
"This my friend,"
that a
and
hot
I'm like,
take most of
"Oh,
the
I
time?
thought we were associates."
Yeah.
See, that's a red flag for me. Like when people throw the friend or best friend word too fast.
Man,
I'm like,
people at work
I
already
don't
telling me
know
they
you.
love me. Who you love?
I said love is just a word that you throw out like friendship.
Right. Who do you love?
At this point, it is. I mean, I think everyone wants to have friends. So like, yeah, they put out their friends, and yes, ultimately, yes, it's like I have a lot of. Not that sounds crazy. There has been people in the past where I'm like, they threw out the word friend, and I wasn't sure about it. But I also think that's not necessarily bad. I think it's just like, what do people identify as a friend? My terms of friend has a long list. Theirs might have two. And like, to them, I may be a friend. To me, I'm like, you haven't checked off all 6 of these things yet. So we're gonna wait.
You didn't see me give birth, so I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
You didn't come to my baby shower, so
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's kind of a detriment when you have friends that are like, have been there for you for thick and thin, because then like,
Okay, let's
the
get into
checklist
it.
is like very high. You're like, you cannot. It's almost like you cannot compete.
Yeah.
So
Like,
that,
you're telling me that this person who has seen me like crazy, out of pocket, like all the like crazy.
This
crazy.
woman knows what my butthole look like, my
Right.
vagina look like, and we never fucked. You know what I'm saying? Was that aggressive?
a little.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You know, like, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. I took it to the next level.
But yeah, no, and yeah. Literally.
Just yeah. Yeah.
But exactly, like we're really like, she knows me, or this person have been there for me when I was like broke, literally,
Yeah.
you know, or something like that. And you're telling me that this new person that I've met is like, are you still thinking?
Have you seen what I've seen? It's hard. You're just like, see, this is why it takes time. It takes time. It takes patience. It also takes how people deal with like hard situations or like interesting situations. I feel like that's a test of friendship too.
Right.
Where like, when it's not just dandelions and roses, like how do you operate when something
When you really start smelling somebody's shit.
Like, are you leaving or are you still
What
down?
is going on over here?
I don't
She's
know,
in
trauma.
the bathroom. Mary's in the bathroom.
Drama.
Just waiting for her to come out of the bathroom.
What is it? You know, what is it? I know you like to thank yo. Rose is like, your shit don't stink. When they shit start to stink, for real. That's where I was at. When you know when you locked in with somebody, when they're really showing their butt, and all you want to do is love them.
Yeah.
All you want to do is figure out like how you can get them through this. Like, their pain is your pain. Like, you're so embedded. Like,
That should be hurting though.
I've been so codependent with Kiera before. I've been so codependent with Suvi before, where I am now like harming my own well-being because I'm so focused on someone else. And I feel like relationships of all kinds, when you're in it for the long haul, there are those scary moments where you can get to that point of losing yourself and losing yourself in that other person.
An escapist. That's my magic trick.
Yeah. I was really good at escaping too because I didn't want to face myself. I didn't want to face the person that was looking at me in the mirror. So the easiest thing, I didn't even know that I was doing this. It was subconscious. I was running away from so many traumas that I was locking into my friendships at an unhealthy manner. And I feel like because I was setting that tone, I was kind of giving the green light for my friends to respond to me in that manner when I was the one like in the deepest of the depths and they were in the light. And it was kind of just like a dance, but an unhealthy dance that I did for a little bit with the both of you. And it took in each friendship for both of us to realize we're not helping each other get out of this because all we're doing is sitting with each other in this death. So now we've gotten to a point where both of us are in it. Like, who's going to be the one to get us out now? So, how going back to like the beginning when I said the two highways, that's when moments in our friendships where there's space because we got too codependent. We got too wrapped up into each other's lives where a space was definitely necessary for me to get back on track. And I feel like that's only something you can learn through trial and error. Yeah. You'll never know what codependency looks like for you until you go through it. You'll never know if you're codependent in your relationships or your friendships or whatever until you have that experience. And you're not going to be that with all of your friends, because not all of your friends you love to such a depth like that. But when you get there and the work, like, first off, when you get there, you have to realize that you're there and you really have to commit to the work to get yourselves out of there and communicate to your friend or your partner that you're in this codependent space with and just keep it a buck and be like, this is no longer healthy. I have to separate from you. However, I still want you, but I can't have you right now.
See, that was so difficult for me because, like, we've been friends for a while too. And when we went through, like, toxic codependency or just any type of toxic habits in our friendship, my brain, I'm such an intense person. It's like yes or no, like very black and white. And as you mature, I feel like you realize that life is just not black and white like that, But then like my past self, who was a little hurt child, like everything was black and white. So if you and I were not aligned, it's like you're out of my life, you're dead to me, and out of sight, out of mind for me, And I trained myself to do that so that it doesn't hurt when I lose somebody, right? So like that was like the habit that I like did, and she was the only one in my life that
did
kind
not
of
leave.
Yeah,
I was like, bitch,
dead
I'm
ass.
right here.
Dead ass.
I'm 5 minutes down the street. So when you ready,
but it's crazy because like she was the one in our friendship where when I was like, I don't know how you saw it, but in my eyes, I was like very hurt, like just very hurt. Like I remember whenever I see like Boston, I'm just a hurt girl walking around in snow, like smoking a cigarette. That's my vibe in Boston.
We were so like, you never saw like the beginning phase of us in Boston. Like we were very like emo, like angsty, just like angsty teens. And like that's where we started our bond. And it was just like, fuck the world, we hate everybody, it's just us. Right. Locking arms, just like walking down the street, like fuck everybody.
Everybody, just fuck
it's
everybody.
Just us. Yeah. And then like that became so unhealthy to us because we became so codependent on each other, and it was dependent in different ways. And so I was talking about this, I forget who I was talking about it with, but I was just like, the other side of codependency, right? Where it's like you physically, like literally, the reason why I never allowed her to get out of my life is because I stood there and I was like, I can't lose her because I can't live life without her.
Cry.
But like, I was so fucking stubborn that like anytime I felt disrespected, I was just kind of like,
disrespected.
Bitch, my mom did worse. Go harder.
This is all you got?
Like I was just like, it was definitely like traumatic responses back just from how I grew up and just the relationships I grew up with. But I don't know, like the codependency on my side, I feel like it was so in the dark. So it wasn't so in your face. Like I was constantly just fighting because I literally I thought I couldn't live life without her. Like I'm like, who's gonna be my fucking friend? Who's gonna know these parts of me? You know, but in reality, I probably could have fucking walked away and just started my own life. And at a certain point, I did.
Yeah, I pushed her so to a limit where she was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna leave you too. You think I can? Fuck you. And we wouldn't talk. And I'll be like,
that happens. And then you come back, you're like, hey.
Right. And then every time with a
I
bottle of wine.
Right. It's just like,
yeah.
But we also lived with each other for a really long time too.
Yeah. It was financial codependency as well. We were really surviving. We were
sharing
homeless
clothes,
together, you know.
Sharing food, sharing money, sharing a house. It was just we were sharing so much where it got to the point where it's what is mine and what is yours?
Right. Triggered already now.
I'm triggered. I walked in the house and I was like, these shoes look like mine. And they were.
What shoes I got on? Oh, they are.
Let's talk about it. I was just like, okay.
I'm fucking dead. No,
I understand.
We had to stop. We had to stop sharing clothes, on purpose because of that. It just.
I don't want to stop sharing clothes.
So many things would pile up, and that would be the first thing. You haven't given them
back, and you will not get yours back either. I think I borrowed some sweatpants.
Oh, so it's both ways.
Oh yeah, she got some. I got some, and that'll just be it.
But I understand.
Yeah,
I get it.
It would just get that, but it would get that petty.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
would.
Where it's it didn't matter. That was the littlest thing on the list of where there was issues, but that would be the first thing that would be addressed is you didn't give me my fucking shoes back.
I mean, that's the easiest thing.
You wore my shirt and you stained it, bitch.
Right.
Just little things like that. And so I don't know where I'm going with this.
Kiera, what is
No, it makes sense because I feel like once you get that close, it's kind of just you now know everything, and then you're just at that point, anything goes. You're just I can say whatever now because they've seen you at your worst, they've seen you at your best, and also everything irritates you too. That's family,
right? I was literally gonna say it's family, but also family's toxic as fuck. You know what I mean? I did not like sharing clothes with my sister, and I grew up as a middle child too. You know, but
I mean that's a boundary that you have to figure out because you're just
Exactly.
I don't. At first, you don't want any boundaries, and then you're like, wait, maybe we should have.
I feel like the boundaries with Kiera and I definitely are a little different from what you and Hazy share.
No, I want my shoes back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can take them.
I literally asked when I moved out, hey, you never wear these. Can I keep them? Yeah, they'll probably do you better than they do me.
I didn't know that it was going to come along with 13 other pants. It's okay. I have your clothes too.
Okay. Girl, you get
y'all
free.
figure that out after.
Yeah.
Okay?
So anyways, I feel like I was really surprised, and I want you to kind of talk more about this. The other day, she came over and she was venting about whatever. And
about whatever.
Well, you were venting about. She was venting.
You said something.
The girl was talking about some, y'all. But during the conversation, there was shit talking. We were on the conversation of shit talking, and she was using an example, and she was just I wasn't necessarily shit talking, but that person in her life was interpreting it as shit talking. And when she was saying the example, she was like, girl, I heard you talking shit about me to Suvi before. And I know she's had her times where she's talked shit about me or whatever. And it's really interesting. Do we call it talking shit? Because now I don't even... I call it venting. Yeah. We both decided that day that it was a point of venting. Both her and I were pissing each other off very, very much. We were at a point of in our own spaces, and everything that we were still living together. So we were still very much very bothered with each other. And I don't even remember the shit that I was saying, but I could say all that shit, and if she needed me, I would still turn around and I could have literally cursed her ass out for an hour on the phone, and I would still show up and do whatever it needed to be. So I feel like in that span, we did graduate from friendship to family because the way we were so intertwined in each other's lives, it's deep. It was deeper than the average.
I think also too, it's depending on who you're quote unquote talking shit to.
I said the same thing to you. I said the same thing to you because when you're in a safe space and you know
when
you
that
should be
person is
mindful of
not
what's
gonna,
coming out of your
like-
mouth.
Like whenever she would talk to Kiera about to me, I would never be like, yeah, fuck Kiera. Like, you guys shouldn't be friends. I would be like, you know, like you guys need to sit down and just talk and you know,
honestly,
meet each other halfway.
That's the way you should do it. You should never come to me and tell, like,
Right.
If Suvi came to me and told me, I'd be like, Mary, you shouldn't trust Suvi.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
even if it's about me.
100%.
Like, I understand when people are in a safe space and they like, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to vent. And
Yeah.
like sometimes to get it out, like if you're just going willy-nilly and just talking to like every person, that's a different story. But like when you feel comfortable in who you are and who you're talking to, like you're gonna have issues. I'm gonna say something about my mom one day and I'm like, she was getting on my nerves. I
Right.
can't believe she said this. But like I feel comfortable enough talking to you to be like, hey, this is like how I feel. Like, not necessarily validate me, but like, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Like, is anything what I'm saying valid? Like, because like you have to get it out,
Or
else it,
maybe
like,
not even like, what
blows
is your
up.
thoughts? It's like, I just need to talk.
I just need to get it out.
I recently just went through a friendship breakup through this, and it broke me to shreds because I was friends with these people for years upon years. And I thought with the both of them, it was like the three of us, with the both of them, that I was speaking in a safe space. But time and time again, whenever I spoke my truth, it was conversed amongst them. So it was painted as if I was talking shit when in my head, I thought I was speaking to my safe space. And it's funny that I had to learn my own lesson with that. With maybe in my world, I felt like I was just releasing, but in their world, because they hadn't graduated to my level of maturity and frequency and being able to trust just conversation, that they interpreted it as talking shit. And I'll never be able to teach them that that wasn't what it was until they choose to grow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's tricky with friendships, because you got to have more than one friend, and you got to have more than one friend that you really, really trust, that you can go to and just let it out. Because you have to honor your truth. And sometimes your truth is going to sound mean to that opposite person, but it's not about them in that point in time. It's about honoring how you feel. And I hate for anyone that has to go through a lesson that teaches them that you weren't in fact as safe as you thought.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I found that out.
You found what out?
Not everyone's a safe space.
Oh, yeah. No, not everyone is a safe space, but you know.
But also, sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
it's
but
okay.
also like not everything, me and Vince talk about it all the time, but not everything, or he says it to me and I agree now listening to this, because I'm like, oh, not everything has to be shared with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a safe space. Because certain things, like, even if it's a safe space, that person might not understand to the depth of what I just experienced, you know? And that's, again, not on them. It's just for me anyway. So really, it doesn't have to be.
I will
separate.
say I'm a fucking Libra, and it's so hard for me. Like, I want to gossip all the time. Like, I will say that. I love to spill tea.
I mean, it's entertaining.
It's so, and it's, you know.
She's
I
a
was-
Leo, the Leo and Libra, the
when it's
gossipers,
not about
huh?
you, it's entertaining.
I was talking about this with a friend like a couple days ago, and I was like, you know, it's so crazy because when I see my son, he mimics everything that I do. He mimics everything that his father does. And so when I think about it, like back growing up,
Your mom liked
I
to
would
gossip?
always listen to my mom gossip with my
Same.
aunties. And so like just growing up, I just thought this was like, that was it. That's what you do as a woman. Like you get together with your girls and you fucking,
You kiki.
you talk shit. I talk shit with my sister the most. That's like literally our conversations. Every time we call each other, what are we doing? We talking shit about our family. Like
We talk shit all the time. Libra Pisces also, like, mad
my
shit
sister's a
talkers.
Pisces.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's
I
just
love
like,
to just like, okay, what do you know? Like, tell me. I'm a mom now. I don't do anything.
See, but I feel like there's shit talking, and then I don't know. I feel like there's just there gets a point where it's annoying, where you've like made a life about it.
Oh,
You're out here
yeah.
blogging
You
about
have
it.
to
Everything's
stop.
negative.
You
Like
gotta
your
stop
whole
at a
life
certain
is a
point.
shade room. You know, you're the one now like creating rumors and just bringing bad energy to people's lives. I don't I don't involve myself with any of that.
No. And once I start feeling like I'm indulging a little bit too much, I'll be like, all right.
Let me chill out. Like, I got to hang up this phone, or I got to close this app, or whatever the case is. Like, do you think we gossip?
Gossip?
Me and Kiera be in the clouds.
Gossip. I mean,
I don't think we gossip.
Frank Ocean did cancel on Coachella.
It's crazy,
But
Frank.
I was just looking at him like, y'all all sitting here thinking that wouldn't happen.
Right.
No, seriously. Come on, it's Frank
Especially
Ocean.
after everybody complained the first week.
I was just like, it seems inevitable, but that's what I'll be gossiping about. I'm like, listen, y'all talking shit about the wrong person. He already knew he was going to cancel.
I feel
Okay.
like, just like with me and who I am, I genuinely like to make people feel better. I like helping people reveal truths about themselves. The more I learn that about myself, and I feel like because that's such a core personality trait of mine, talking about negativeness really hinders me. It really bothers me. And it's funny, like, this is new for me, because before I roll with y'all shit. Let's talk some shit. But
It's not an everyday thing.
it's not an everyday
not an
thing. And I
everyday
hate that I'm
thing,
trying
I
to paint
promise.
picture it like that. But just like lately, just even with conversations that I have, I'm not talking about just like
What other
willy
people
nilly.
are
I'm not
doing.
talking about what other niggas is talking about.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Really?
do that.
I be gossiping about myself.
And that's on Big Purr. I'm important in this street.
I need to do better.
No, dead ass. I be like, bitch, I went through it this week.
Right.
Yeah, I will run myself through the mud.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm my biggest bully.
Yeah.
We call each other. We're like, what the hell is happening? Why am I angry?
Yeah.
Why did I just pop off the other today? Like, for what?
No.
And then I'm like, why is this happening?
Then you just start both crying.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is therapy.
I was going to say that next.
Yeah.
You already stole the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Nice. Love that.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful. That's
Guys, this
cute.
conversation's flowing so well. Like, I love
Yay.
it. I'm like so into it. I
Same.
even forget that this is like
Like, we're
happening.
recording.
Yeah.
This is a really good conversation.
But I already knew that this was gonna like flow really well. Even though this is our first time, like even like when I talked to you, like I heard Howard and Bells, right? Like just like while we're at work and we would conversate. And
You had no idea I was that funny?
Yo,
No, I
Mary's the
didn't.
funniest person.
And you know,
At
once
work,
you
yeah.
left work,
was
listen, I
quiet.
was complaining.
Bitch.
I was like,
nobody
where's
was
Mary
laughing.
B?
No one was laughing.
Everybody like. Let me not throw names, okay? You're here. I want Mary B. But like, yeah, you know what's crazy? I was just gonna say, like, I've seen you at such different phases of your life. Like,
You really, and there's been so many extremes. You're
Yeah.
like, yo, I don't know that girl.
yeah, but like we've never been like, you know, like that close. But every time I've met you, I'm always like such a like pleasant experience, you
Yeah.
know. But I did see you go through a lot of different things, and so seeing you like now, and like we're able to just sit down and have this like day and this like episode of just conversating. I'm like, wow, like I feel like we're aligned now. You know what I mean?
I do too. I really think it's funny. God has just a way of working,
Yeah.
and introducing and bringing things around, and I can just agree.
Yeah.
I feel like in
found
this
it.
household, especially, we're also intertwined in like the weirdest, craziest way. Like, Kiera was there when I first met Big Al too.
I know.
I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was there when I got pregnant. Like,
I was.
And
I
that's
was
crazy
like-
because that's not when I was not in her life.
yeah, I was like, Kiera, we're having a baby. She's like, we're having a baby?
We're having a baby.
I was up in the crib, like,
Yeah. You had a key to the crib and everything.
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
Nah, I was
I
living
forgot
there.
about that. You
Nah,
did.
we was
That's
really
crazy.
I was
That's
codependent
funny.
on Mary heavy, especially when I wasn't friends with you. And
But you know
then-
what? I think that what you learned from that and what I learned from that, because when I wasn't codependent on her, I was codependent on you. I was like, codependency is the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
found a new host to
And we were doing it
leech my
together.
sickness off of. And it was funny because when we had our time apart, you came back in, but I feel like you had enough solitude and time for yourself where you could reintroduce yourself as this butterfly. You know,
Yeah.
you came out of your cocoon season.
Yeah.
And then the space that's happened between us, we used to live together, and it was just us not living together anymore. And I think it was just this unspoken thing, correct me if I'm wrong, where we just knew.
You're wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Where we just knew we needed space.
Yeah.
When we were younger, we had about 4 years that went by where we didn't speak. And I was hoping to God that 4 years wasn't going to go by again. But I was just like, I know she's there, but she ain't got to be there. And when I really like gave that space to her, I gave that space to Suvi, and I let go of it mentally. I let go of just like all this energy that I was putting into it. The universe did its thing, and
you started blossoming.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, I can see it. Like, you have a different energy, like, for real. Remember that time in East LA when you came over to my East LA house?
I was just thinking about that, and I was like, Hazy really has probably hung out with me like 4 or 5 times since I've been out here, and like that.
And it was the wildest experience.
No, the first
every time.
Yeah, every fucking time.
Oh my gosh!
You came and picked me up. All right, I'm gonna show my ass, y'all. What's up? It's Mary B.
I love you.
You, this cool, calm, and collected little girl you see right here is not who I used to be. I used to really turn up, and I guess I went from turning up in college and it being like the normal fun thing for all of us to do in that point in time of life to like moving across country, and I didn't know who the fuck I was, what I was, dating the wrong people, talking to the wrong people, pursuing career goals that weren't mine but were from energies that were around me or ideas that were planted in me. I was not me. I didn't know who I was. And so whenever I had a moment of quietness, I hated it because I didn't know what quiet was. I didn't know who I was. So I drank. And it was okay to drink because all my niggas around me drank, you know? And I don't think nobody at that time was self-aware. But me, I just took it overboard. I don't even want to take it overboard. Alcoholism runs in my family. Let's be honest there, right? So what was I doing? I was following the footsteps, like how you just mentioned about gossiping with your mom. I was following the footsteps that my father knew. My father opened up to me recently. He told me that I was so scared of becoming my father that I became worse than him.
You manifested it when you were trying to.
When I wasn't trying to, just like he did, right? So, I'm doing this activity that all my friends can do, and all 3 of y'all taking shots with me, but for whatever reason, my pants is on this floor and my shirt is on that floor, and I'm crying to this nigga on this floor and whatever, right? Because that's when me came out, but I was so hurt, right? So when I came out as 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 12-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever person was triggered at that time was showing up. And then I would wake up and be like, I was living in survival mode because literally until I moved and had my own space, everything was chaos. So anyways, I go back to, I say that story because I didn't know me. I didn't know who I was. And at that time, the only person or the only thing that made me feel better with all my pain and my trauma was a substance. And I was on that substance when I came to you. I also learned through my cleaning up phase, I have social anxiety. The social butterfly suffers from social anxiety because if I am not fully aware of the people that I'm in and I'm already started drinking and I come across an entity that I'm unaware of, now I have to take it further because I don't know how to respond to this, right? But I didn't know that about myself. I didn't have parents around me that taught me. They don't teach you this shit in school. People aren't. Yeah, so I just had to go through it enough to be able to be like, oh my God. And it's funny because you were the person that least knew me then, but you kind of saw me the most because to her, it's just another day. Oh, I got to go pick up Mary. She's drunk. I'll be right back. And to you, it's just like, you were my drinking buddy. So she there lit with me. She not seeing like the situation like how you were seeing it. So it's just really, really, really interesting that all 3 women here have grown with me. And that is a statement because I don't even know. I'm not connected to that girl anymore. Yeah.
That's wild.
Wild.
Real.
Yeah.
Man.
I just had to like let that sink in for a second because I was literally reliving that day. I remember like
I just remember going the next day to pick up my car and my sunroof was open. All 4 of my windows were cracked down. This is in East LA and no one broke into my car. Nothing was stolen. I was like, I have no idea why God likes me so much. Like, I know there's like this huge divine purpose in me because if this was any anybody else, their car would be fucked up. It would be towed or whatever the case was. And the amount of times that I got saved time and time again. And I feel like God gave me that leisure because he understood I was acting like this from things that were done to me. However, I have no control for how people treated to me, but now I have control for how I handle it, how I paint my life. Do I want to be just the next Peter? Am I going to be my dad? Am I even going to be good enough to meet a partner, to be a mom?
Yeah. But you know, this is like that day though, like when I saw you, it was almost like you know how you said, I saw you like the most. I really did, because I saw you as like just hurt, bro.
Hurt.
And like you were
crazy 'cause
wounded AF.
Yes. And every single time there's a sober person around.
But I wasn't really sober. I was just like, I think that was
but
a different.
compared to me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's why my energy to you from that day was like, I just wanted to give you a hug. I wanted to make sure you got home safe, you know? Like, I think I kept saying like, you need to go home. Like, and then I think we were calling you and stuff. It was, I just wanted you to go home. Yeah. But that was because I was empathizing, because I also know what that's like too, you know? Like, there's been many days where this girl had to carry my ass, you know? And like, I'm out in the streets just yelling, making a fool out of myself. Like, really, you know?
Literally.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I also could choose to be so embarrassed and to not spread my wings right now because of the amount of embarrassment that I did to myself. But I won't call it that. I had to be that.
Yes.
I was myself.
Yeah.
I was myself 100%. So it's not going to do me any justice as I grow bashing me.
Right.
Because that's still me.
Right.
You know? I was just really hurt.
Yeah.
And I have to learn what I need to do to make sure I don't remain that hurt or ever get back to that place of hurt, right? Because I don't want to show up as that. I don't want my kids, my family, my father calling me saying, my daughter's an alcoholic, you know? When the truth really started to settle in for me. And I felt like I was running really, really thin on my saving graces. I felt like I was getting thin with God. That's when it started to get real. Because I ran my thinness with her. I ran my thinness with her. I ran my thinness with everybody.
Yeah.
And it started getting thin with my spirit. And I was like, oh, okay. If I don't fix this, I'm going to be in jail. I'm going to be all of these things. I'm going to be.
Well, you did go to jail.
I did go to jail.
I had to put that out there. I'm sorry. It's okay. My other best friend went to jail too.
Both of Kiera's best friends went to jail, y'all.
About me.
We some criminals out here. It says a lot about her. Y'all just don't know her. Nah, but for real, it's just really, really been a journey. And I feel like if anything, TikTok is the only one that knows.
Oh my God.
TikTok knows, bro.
That was the way to end it.
My truth.
If anyone knows, TikTok.
Oh, like your whole profile you're saying?
Yeah, like
it's
I
all,
just
like,
be.
documented?
Yeah.
That's what she talking to.
I be truthing on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I feel
can
like
see the difference
I love
too.
it.
Like when you now it's different than like
my energy, just everything is so different, and I just like love. I love that I've been blessed with the opportunity to keep some type of.
I heard that too.
I love that. That's what I heard too.
No, but I love that I can keep some type of familiarity
Yeah.
in this chapter. You know, that is the biggest blessing.
Yeah.
These friendships that I have been blessed with to carry in all versions. You know, what versions are to come. We're forever evolving.
Period.
Yes.
We are spirits having a human experience.
Yes.
Right?
Hydrate, you guys. Do you have something to hydrate, Mary?
It's cool. Oh, yeah. Big purr.
She purring on. I thought you want. Okay, never mind. Do you want water?
She got me.
I'm so happy
I was
that
like, where's the purse?
I'm so happy that we talked about that, because I think that was like really crucial to. I don't know. Like, it was just like a memory in my brain, and I've always wanted to talk to you about it.
We never talked about it. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we talked about it as well, because I was talking to Suvi on the phone earlier, and brushed upon the fact that I personally was dealing with a little bit of fear coming on and talking my truth because
she was shit talking. No, I'm kidding.
I was scared to come on here and talk my truth because yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not.
How are you just gonna lie?
Why you always lying?
Also, earth, fire, water, air.
Are we the Avatar?
We are.
We're the Avatar.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. But
Okay, hurry up and say it before you
Earth,
forget.
Wind, and
okay.
Do
I was nervous to come on here and speak my truth, and the reason why is because I know when this is released, I know that we all share a common platform,
Right.
And I have realistically not a relationship with these people that we share a platform with, and they have always kind of been like this cloud over me that kept fear in me without them even knowing it. They'll probably never know it. This is probably something that's came in within me eternally, childhood trauma. I don't know. But they always like projected onto me that 21-year-old version of who I was back then. And so whenever I'm around them, I feel like I had to show up
as
that. And so right now, they all probably think that they know who I am. And the reality is they have no idea, right? Like a lot of these people are going to watch this, and this story that I just shared about myself, that story that I had with you, they're going to be like, oh, that sounds like Mary. But they're not going to understand that that is, in fact, old news, right? And that was just really scary to me because growing and owning the new you is working itself.
Yes. I kind of want to touch upon that. Like, there have been times in our relationships where that has been difficult for us, where we have grown and like almost graduated from different versions of us, and the other person was like hadn't grieved that past self yet, and so we were holding each other to that self without without giving that person that grace of like, you've grown, I see you, I know you're not going to react like this anymore. So a lot of times it hurt in our communication because we thought that we were communicating with past selves instead of giving grace to the present. Yeah. And I think that sometimes it's difficult for people to see you beyond who you were in the past because they want to cling on to that.
Yeah.
Growing is just really challenging. And some people, unfortunately, never can do it because of the amount of energetic work that comes with it.
Well, then you have to choose to do it.
You have to choose to do it. And I understand how much work it takes for you to do it with yourself. It's going to take more work for you to be conscious of other people on their own journeys and accepting that they are no longer who you knew them to be. Right. But that was a fear, a very big fear of mine that I had coming in on here because I'm new. You know, am I going to be liked as this person?
Who cares?
Exactly.
Right. Do you like yourself?
But like little me is still like, the moral of the story is I lacked love all my life and I still lack love right now. And right now, in this chapter, I'm learning how to give that to myself. And so as I'm learning to give that to myself, I had to talk myself to whatever version was experiencing that fear and saying like, regardless, this is who you are.
Right.
So you're going to have to show up.
Right.
And I'm doing it, you know, but, who I've been presenting isn't like what I've been dealing with internally. Like I've been speaking with her since you guys invited us like about my fears. And I'm just glad that I'm here and gave it a chance and like spread my wings. A lot of the reason why I went to TikTok instead of Instagram is because there's no judgment on TikTok. I don't have to worry about being perceived by people that are no longer in my life, I'm giving too much power to that. So I'm like learning how to take back control in that in my own way.
Right. And I love that you're doing that because I also was talking to her about this too. That's crazy that you went through that, because I was like, when we talked about our podcast in general, I was really going through like that same shit. I was like, yo, like people are gonna hate me because I'm a type of personality where either you like me or you don't. And
Period.
the people that like me, they really ride for me because they see that I'm dope. but but then like other people think that I'm like not, like most people don't see that unless they really get to know me, you know? And I don't know, it's just an acquired taste, and I just felt like kind of intimidated by that. My trigger for myself all the time since I was younger was people think I'm crazy all the time, or people think that like whatever, people think of something of me that I don't think I am. But then I was like, you know what? Let me come and do it, because I also went through the inner work, and like now I'm at a place where I've accepted those parts of myself, and I can still like, I don't know, just maneuver in a different way. I don't really know how to put it into words, but I can really like understand what you're saying. And I also think that because you also put in so much internal work within yourself, that this is coming at a perfect time in your life where you're able to be like, yo, this is the new me, or this is not the new me, but the better version of me. And
this is the evolved version of me.
Yeah,
and I'm always going to have a newer,
absolutely
evolved version.
There's something wrong if you're not.
There's something, but the truth is, how many people don't evolve? You know, it just is what it is.
It is.
Doing the work is scary as fuck. It's hard work. Like, why do you think I was numbing myself so much?
If you're not evolving with me, you're not in my life.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because we're going there.
Yep.
All the way up.
I'm just really proud of everybody that we're all of us. I'm just proud of us. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Even doing the podcast.
Yeah, this is amazing. You guys are new mothers.
I know.
Doing a creative outlet, still like putting food on your table. Lord knows how hard it is to survive.
Yeah.
Let alone thrive, let alone put aside time to pursue your dreams, you know? We didn't come out here for no reason. You know, we didn't come from the East Coast to the West Coast to just like enjoy sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit.
I mean, of course, yeah, the sunshine is a perk, but all of us, I feel like, have
a reason.
We had to leave home. Like, we had to come and become these versions of ourselves because we weren't going to do that at home.
Yeah.
And I think we knew that when we decided that we were going to pick up everything and just
go
figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of us for doing that because I think, I don't know about you guys, but personally, there was a lot of people in my corner telling me like, you're not going to make it. You're not going to last in LA. You're going to come right back. Like,
I'm just sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is it?
I was like, who is that? Let me know.
It's really funny because I feel like I feel like we have the dominant half of the relationship. Like, we're very protective of our best friends. We're very much like, you ain't fucking with us over here.
Me too, though.
Yeah, she can.
Well, Kiera is not like that. Kiera's very much like, we come in peace.
I'm knucking and bucking. Like, don't touch my girl.
Now, realistically, I feel like maybe I talk like I'm a fighter, but I'm not. I'm like, Kiera, we could talk it out. We could work it out. I'm here in peace too.
Right.
I'm here in peace.
If we can talk it out, let's talk it out. But don't
out.
talk to me, disrespectful, because then
We're
we're
not
gonna
get a
talk
different
anymore.
version
We're
of me.
gonna
Squabble.
right.
A little
We're
squabble.
gonna do a little dance.
Dance a little bit.
Yeah. This was amazing. I want to do a little poll.
Okay.
We brought some oracle cards.
Yes.
We have the Moonology one and Animal Spirit one. No pressure. This is not some tarot card shit, okay? This is just, we're just going to pull cards. These are all affirmations. Oracle cards are just more affirmations. I'm pretty sure you guys know. But
Okay.
just pulling for what affirmation you might want to pull from.
Also, tomorrow is a portal.
Yes.
Portal
it
day
is.
with the lunar eclipse in Scorpio.
Yeah.
So
I definitely am feeling it, and I feel like there's just a lot of new things coming.
Yes. Also, we're in a new timeline.
We really are in a new timeline. I can literally feel it. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I feel so new.
Yeah. Even
the
with
past
the
doesn't even
metaverse
feel
and all that.
real. Like,
Yeah.
I literally don't like
I feel
can't
like
recollect
COVID
the
was like a
past.
black hole.
Yeah.
I feel like literally like there was life and then there was like this black hole and just like every toxic, dramatic, whatever needed to just like be sucked into that black hole.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now like the portal has closed and we're like getting back onto schedule, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's like, even like with us, like it's funny that we're getting back on schedule after the portal closed because I wouldn't necessarily consider us to be super intertwined with each other through COVID after we moved out. Same with you. Like when we moved apart, not moved apart, but like when I left Harold and Bells, like, yeah. And now we're just finding things are just kind of coming back in.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason for that black hole. And right now I'm angry at it because I feel like I got robbed. But at the same time, I'm happy that like life was kind of still when I was acting batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Bitch, if I didn't get pregnant, I would be batshit crazy right next to you.
Yeah, and I know. So that's a good thing.
I know.
It's
And
great.
we would
Saved
not-
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would trickle down to me like we
No.
wouldn't
Yeah.
probably.
We wouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't want to be friends with me. Who the hell want to be friends with somebody crazy when they got a kid at home?
Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
Like,
But yeah, a whole new timeline for sure. I totally agree.
and I just onwardness, full of positivity. Regardless if I get challenged with something, I'm going to look at it positively. I want to just live in abundance.
yes. And you will.
Oh yeah, like I am
on.
deserving of everything that I've imagined and then some.
Period.
If I said I wanted a mansion, well, bitch, I want a great cobblestone mansion. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Be
Like,
specific.
yeah,
Arch alleyways.
Yeah.
Not alleyways. What is it?
black rails.
Yep.
all of that. So I say all that to say, like, I feel like my manifestation powers are real as fuck. And it's about time we get it on.
Right.
It's about time we get ours.
Yeah, it's about time we get
Right.
ours.
Because ultimately we choose to do this shit.
Yes.
And like the whole, like I talk to her about this all the time, or we talk about it, but like the chosen one narrative is all bullshit. It's you choose to do this shit.
Right.
Kiera literally said earlier on her story, like, the only difference between you and I is I keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not it's inclusive to everybody. It's just like you
Yes.
have to put in the fucking work.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is like it's fucking difficult. It's the most difficult thing you'll ever do.
And it's easy to stop.
But it's the
Yes.
most rewarding. I was talking to somebody today about just like kind of shifting the conversation a little bit, but just like this entrepreneur route that I'm taking with my art. And it's like even the podcast. And she was like, bitch, you picked a really hard fucking path. And I was like, I know, but I don't want to do anything else.
Kiera, you want to speak?
On what? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the people who become successful are just the people that keep going. I think,
Yeah.
period. It's kind of just is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no one that can really tell you what to do. You can look at so many interviews, listen to so much advice, but at the end of the day, you just have to figure it out. And like I think people like kind of overlook the part of figuring it out. It's not easy, and everyone's figuring out could be different. Some may help you, some may not. But at the end of the day, if you know it's for you, you just gotta just say screw it. I gotta figure this out, and I will try by any means possible. Like you can try the traditional way, you can try the obscure way, you can just try something.
And everyone's
very left
paths are
field.
really different.
Right.
Yeah,
Everybody.
so it's kind of just like, do you have the determination? Because you're not gonna feel motivated. Period. Like people think if you're not motivated, it's not gonna work. I'm like,
It's
you will
you're
not be
not
motivated.
disciplined.
You would be like, I am tired. I do not want to do this. How do you make yourself still do it? At the end of the day, how do you do that, and what does that look like for you, and how do you make that work? Because it just, if you want to do it, you will do it, and if you don't, it will show.
Right.
Like you can say you want to do it, and if you don't actually like show up for yourself, like you can not show up for other people, but once you stop showing up for yourself, then it's like you're not serious
Right.
at all. So you just got to show up for yourself, even when it doesn't feel good,
Right.
when you don't feel like it,
Right.
and then you will get
Discipline over motivation.
that. It really is
100%. Yes. I'm excited for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Where's
gotta
the
make some money.
cards?
Okay, yes. So we have an animal deck and a moonology deck. Do you want to pick which one personally? Like, which one do you want to do?
You said an animal deck and a numerology deck?
A moonology.
Moonology.
So it's like the moon phases, and then one animal spirit deck.
I want an animal.
Okay.
I also
I guess
want
I'll do
an
the
animal.
opposite then.
Okay, do you want to shuffle first and then do your situation? You want to do the moonology shuffle?
I'll do the moonology.
And then there's these cards.
Do I shuffle it still?
Yeah.
Okay.
The artist of the deck gives its own interpretation, so it's not like people are gonna read. Okay, it's not some witchery stuff.
They're lying.
But I'm into it. I'll do none of that on the camera. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, ASMR.
Okay.
Yeah, do the
it is.
ASMR.
ASMR.
They like tap the camera. They do this thingy. Yeah. Oh, you know how to do it.
Listen, I'd rather watch mukbangs than listen to ASMR.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love watching people eat.
I like ASMR, but only people eating. Like, I don't like the little. I don't like that.
What are you doing? What's up? Hey, everybody.
What if we filmed the whole podcast and like?
I'm pretty sure there has to be a podcast that exists like that.
Right.
Someone.
People
there
are
has to be.
creative AF.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I was the one. I keep telling him this too. I wish I was the one who like figured out the rain sounds like on Spotify or YouTube.
And
like,
then just made them and put them out there.
yeah, because they got billions of streams over there. They're probably making mad money.
People listen to those when they go
Girl,
to
you
sleep.
could still put one out.
You
I
could-
know.
actually could.
Big perk.
Could actually.
Like, make room for yourself. I could do it.
Right, take up space.
All right, I shuffled. What
She
do I
said
do
you
now?
can
Okay.
still do it.
If you want to like spread it out and
I
just
mean-
pick one.
Fancy happened in the world of Victoria's Secret.
And that's the truth.
Okay, I
For
just
real.
pick one.
Yeah. Or you can pick.
I'm scared. What if it's bad?
Nothing is
There's
bad.
no bad.
We
It's
just
all
talked about
affirmations.
perception.
We did. We did.
I just read mine. You gonna pick one? Or?
And then there's a book that goes more into depth.
I mean, it's pretty point blank, and I'm just like very, very mad at it because of this podcast.
Just check it out. Are you gonna share? Do you want to share?
I'll share it.
Okay.
Okay. Mine is the balsamic moon. It's a time for healing. Hence this conversation.
We went to a sound bath. I told you guys about 2 months ago,
Yeah.
and this is the ongoing theme for you.
Anyway, do I read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to.
Pulling this card suggests that the past is in the past and a bright future is beckoning. However, before you take the next steps, make sure that both you and the situation feel healed. This is not the time to paper over cracks or simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal, to soothe both yourself and anyone else in need. Then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had if you know that someone or something isn't good for you. This card is a reminder to surrender. Start your work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when the time comes.
Does that resonate?
Is she looking at me?
Yes.
You guys like literally know each other too well.
Is she looking at me? Sure. It resonates. It's fine. No.
It's fine.
It's just that's why I was pissed when I got this card. I was like, God damn it. I was like, God damn it. The
It really has
universe
been an
really?
ongoing. Like,
She's on her
thing for
healing
She
girl
is.
era. I love that for you.
Yeah, but
Yes.
did we have to blast it through the cards?
They will always speak.
They will.
The
Give me
cards will
another
feature.
What's yours?
Yes, Mary.
So I picked from the spirit animal book, and I got the cow spirit. And the cow spirit says the miracles are endless. So the oracle message is you are at a beautiful point in your life today, for your needs are being met effortlessly in so many ways. Fully embrace this truth by focusing on all you have right now, including the positive relationships that sustain you. The work you are proud to do to contribute to the world, and the activities that inspire you and nourish your world. Your soul. Cow spirit nudges you to pay attention because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you know feed your soul and bring your heart contentment. This is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. Stay positive and share your well-being with others. The more you share, the more you will manifest. So be generous. Cow spirit promises you will never run out of miracles.
Come on, cow spirit.
Yeah.
Moo!
Golly. Jesus.
Hey.
Yeah.
That felt so good.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay, Suvi, go ahead.
So I didn't get the book
Oh, yeah. Here you
I
go.
pulled the full moon in Capricorn, and it says the end of a tough cycle approaches. Which I'm like, thank God.
What was yours?
The end of a tough cycle approaches.
Yes.
Finally.
She's
I've
been talking
waiting.
about
Oh
this.
my God.
I've been waiting for this
She's
moment.
been saying like, when is it over?
It's finally over. This is the what you needed.
Right. You made it.
Thank God. It says, how hard are you willing to work for what you want?
It's not over, actually. We have just begun.
You have to work actually harder. That was a lie. It was they got her in. No, they got her in, and then now the truth revealed.
Right.
It says, this card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to head when this card comes up.
Why we get to ones where we gotta?
Y'all niggas got work to
Do
do.
some work.
It's okay. I'm with you,
okay.
Subi.
If you're wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card could be a strong sign to make an exit.
Yo, that has been your theme.
Literally.
Yeah, you keep you keep
I'm
like,
do
do I go to
back?
service
Right,
or no?
right.
Like, do I stay out? Do I go back? I'm
Okay,
like,
what else, what else?
Okay. The end of the rough time is in a forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you are prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Release control and trust to the universe. I will.
I will.
Do I have to read the whole thing?
I just read the first part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
You have
Got a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, we were just talking about this.
That's crazy.
Okay, sorry.
You thought the universe read you.
The universe is reading all of us.
The universe is beating us up with all the hands they got. Fight back.
My mom does it harder. That's what Subi said.
Right.
My mom does it worse.
She said, disrespect me some more, why don't you?
Is that all you got?
Shout out to moms.
All right, I got Dear Spirit, and it says bring a gentle touch. The time has come to be gentle and diplomatic when dealing with others. You might have found yourself in a situation where negotiations are necessary in order to reach your goal. Be mindful of the words you choose, but do not worry. Dear Spirit reminds you that you have the ability to be sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect for others. Oh my God, this is like real.
You didn't get that with the three of us?
She said I had to have my own experience.
This is about me, you guys. Like your capacity for calm. Wait. Sorry. You will find that your capacity for calm and grounded communication is heightened at this time. Follow the way of Dear Spirit, and you will do well, gaining the respect of others and finding common ground that is pleasing to you. Remember that understanding others and their needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own first. If you do that, you'll be rewarded tenfold. I resonate with this heavy because like I think I'm right now in my like light work, or I'm in like the service. I feel like I want to give to others, you know, and there's a part of me that's kind of like, I don't really want to because like the world is so ghetto. Like I don't want to serve these people, you know, but
You don't deserve me.
right. But I feel like prepared and ready for it. So, and also the thing that I was telling you about, like the bluntness, the honestness, like sometimes I get backlash on it, but this is like saying like, be gentle. And I think that also is like speaking to me in that sense too. So
It also said be gentle, but be true.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just because like you have like a certain way of communicating, yeah, that could always be better, but it doesn't mean that you need to change what you're communicating.
Right.
And I also don't think you need to look at being of service as if the world doesn't deserve you, because realistically, it does. Why are you any better? Why not you? Why not you be of service?
Right.
You know, because you're not of service to ghetto things, ghetto activities, whatever the fuck it is.
Ghetto shenanigans.
Ghetto shenanigans.
Hood rat shit.
What did Mary J. Blige says? Hypocrisy and what is it?
I have no idea.
Let's get it, pump up on a. What is it?
In this
Dancery. But like, what did she say? Anyways, it don't matter. what I'm trying
She
to
was
say
making up words in that
she
song.
was making up words, and I was over here trying to make up words. Mary. For real. But I think you should look at it as God gave you. All of us have acts of service. Some people just don't do enough work to be able to get to that place to give, but you have. So I don't even think it'll be draining for you. I feel like if anything, it'll be more energetic.
Rewarding.
Like you'll be pouring into your cup.
Right. And it said that at the end. It said if you are true and all that stuff, then you will be rewarded tenfold.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I needed to read.
Yeah. Like don't focus on the other thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like now you are in this space to give.
Yeah.
And maybe once upon a time you could have responded like how you first said it. Like the world doesn't deserve me. This is draining. I don't why do I need to do this? Right. But you didn't pick up that card when you were that person. So.
Yes, you guys.
It's been great.
It's been awesome. Thank you so much for coming and, conversing with us, having this talk.
Yeah, sharing.
I feel like this was just like us having girl talk.
That's how it should be.
We really loved it.
It was so natural and
we not your fetish, okay?
period.
What?
Do you guys want to share? Do you want to share your where people can find you just as a little at the end, and then we can end it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You
Kiera,
wanna
go first.
Okay. Hi, you guys. You can find me on the Instagrams, the Twitters, the TikToks,
Period.
the YouTubes, the Twitches.
Ooh,
at Kiera-
twitchy.
I know I'm twitching now. It's great.
Oh.
You can find me at Kiera Please on everything. If you want to come and hang out, that'd be cool. But thank you for having me.
Yeah. And Mary.
And what's up? It's your girl Maryzy.
Period.
Nah. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. I don't really tweet much, but I like to see what y'all tweet. So yeah, you can find me at MareeZeyy.
Yes.
I repeat, Mareezeeyy.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Not Your Fetish Podcast. This is your girl, Hazy. Okay, Vince. Yes. This is your girl, Hazy.
And Suvi.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.